The Okanagan Sun open up their 32nd season in the BCFC this coming Saturday at the Apple Bowl with the Langley Rams in town. Welcome to Sunspots here on Shaw TV. Ryan Waters being joined by the new head coach of the Okanagan Sun, Gavin Lake. And Coach, you are preparing for the Langley Rams on Saturday at the Apple Bowl. I want to ask you about your comfort level. You've been in Kelowna now the last couple of months. How's the comfort level with the team?
Well, it's certainly come around quite a bit. I've got a bit more time to get with coaches, to get with film, knowing players' faces and names. Not coming in 3 days before spring camp, that was a bit of a tough one. It's certainly come around, so it's an entirely different comfort level. It's certainly getting there, and I know most of the streets now and where I'm getting, and so yeah, I can say it's entirely different in 3 months.
You got a chance to see your guys for the first time in live action hitting somebody other than their own teammates on Saturday against the Kamloops Broncos in Salmon Arm exhibition game. What did you see from your guys? Did you like what you saw?
I saw a lot of good things. We made some great plays. We had some mental errors. We had some physical errors. We had a lot of young guys in the lineup. You know, when you dress about 70, you're going to get the twos and threes, a fair chunk of playing time. You need to see who's going to be available for your 55-man home roster, and then who's going to be a guy that's potentially working into a spot for a playoff spot on a 40-man roster. So that was a valuable tool for that, and you know, you see everything with it. You see great stuff, you see not so great stuff. You know, you anticipate that in an exhibition game, and it certainly proved that, so it was good.
Did you accomplish what you wanted to accomplish when you set the goals coming into the exhibition game? Can you check off the entire checklist?
You can't do the entire checklist, but you can go through with your coaching staff and get a dry run before the season. Our coaches, it was excellent communication, given that we had a neutral site, we had less referees than a normal league game, we had film challenges, we had scoreboard challenges, we had clock challenges. Those are all things that we needed to get out of the way, so it was great to get that dry run in before we actually had the live bullets going. So, and it was very successful in achieving that.
How are the veterans adjusting to now a new guy, a new system, a new philosophy?
Well, the first thing is there's not many of them.
Yeah.
So the guys that are there, I think they're responding really well. I think the leadership is, we're starting to develop some vocal leaders. There might have been in the past a fair chunk of guys that were lead by example. I think we're seeing the rise of some guys who are not afraid to step up and say what's needed when it's appropriate. They're starting to feel a comfort zone in that room, so I'm pleased to see that.
Make your job a little easier when you do have a few captains, a couple vocal guys that can preach to the choir?
Yeah, well, you need that at all levels of sports. You can't be the whole room and the whole face. There's 24 hours in a day. You're only going to see the guys for this much of time. So having those guys who have proven themselves on the field, off the field, step up into a leadership role for those young guys, tremendous, huge. You can't miss it.
Let's talk about the schedule now. It's an unbalanced schedule. It's a difficult one. Langley comes to Kelowna twice. You go there once. You go to Nanaimo twice. The Raiders come here. Do you like the unbalanced schedule? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are I was happy they did that for my first year in Kelowna, so that was being facetious. It's going to be a challenge. We've had top to bottom organizational structure change. We've had player change, we've had personnel change, we've had leadership change. We've had it all the way bottom to top, top to bottom. Langley beat us in the semifinal last year, and they've been rolling. So they didn't suffer any blip in the off season. So we anticipate a little bit of a buzzsaw this Saturday night. And we have to prep accordingly. I think we have to look at this new schedule as, it's going to be a slobber knocker every week. These guys are going to prove themselves. We have to be prepared to see Langley 4 times this year. We have a 10-game schedule. The Prairies have an 8-game schedule. So not only do we have 6 games in a 10-game schedule against Nanaimo and Langley, we get 2 additional games. So I think wear and tear at the end of the season could be a concern. The thing we also have to consider is if we have a subpar effort against Chilliwack or Victoria or Kamloops, we slip once there, we could be out of the playoffs if we're not careful. So we've got a lot of work ahead of us.
What do you know about Langley? Say a buzzsaw maybe coming into Kelowna. They've played 2 exhibition games. Have you had a chance to see them on film?
Yeah, certainly. They've got a lot of skill, a lot of speed, a lot of athleticism. They're going to bring the show to town. They certainly feel that it's their time. Given their result here last fall and them going to Nanaimo, they've got guys that feel that they're ready to make that next step and upset the Raiders as the reigning champs. So they're going to have a lot of moxie, a lot of spirit. They're going to have a lot of fight, and it's going to be a great game.
Coach, thanks for doing this. Good luck Saturday.
Awesome. Thanks, Brian.
Gavin Lake, head coach of the Okanagan Sun. The 2012 season begins at the Apple Bowl Saturday night when the Sun hosts the Langley Rams. For more information, log on to okanagansun.ca. For Sunspots here on Shaw TV, I'm Ryan Waters.